class. My name is Kian Yellowhammer. I'm from the Steno Sioux tribe, and today my speech topic is climate change. Have any of you ever heard of climate change? You guys know how it is affecting our planet? How are we contributing to it? And what can happen if we don't do more to help fight against climate change? Just some definitions. So climate is the weather conditions prevailing in an area in general or over a long period. Change is the act or instance of making or becoming different. And climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns caused by human activity and natural causes. In 1958, climate scientist Charles David Keeling began measuring CO2, which is carbon dioxide, CO2 levels. Readings continue until this day by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. In recent years, scientists have been raising the alarm about the effects of climate change. Impact is being felt in the Arctic intensely, which heats up 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. Climate change has been identified since early industrialization. Climate change includes variations in extreme temperatures, hot or cold, causing acute weather events, rises in sea levels, and extinction of certain animal species. Just 8 years ago, this is a quote from the article, Beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius, The Hell Years. It's authored by Madeline Cuff. Just 8 years ago, almost every nation agreed to a binding treaty promising to hold the global temperature rise to a maximum of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This just shows some causes which these show. These are some of the causes of climate change and the effects of climate change. No, that's not what it is. These are the things that contribute to climate change. Causes can be things such as carbon emissions, fossil fuels burned to produce electricity, heat homes, propel vehicles, and power industrial processes such as the making of cement. Land use change is also a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, as land is deforested and turned over to farming and other uses. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has affirmed that human-made climate change is undeniable. The effects on the planet of climate change. Rising carbon emissions is causing rising temperatures on land and in the sea. The high carbon dioxide levels cause the atmosphere and sea to take up and retain more heat. On land, from 2015 to 2019, and from 2010 to 2019, those 5 and 10 years have been the hottest such periods ever recorded. And since 1980, each decade after the next has been warmer than any previous decade since 1950. All the excess heat is stored in the world's oceans 90% of the time. Increasing land and sea temperatures are beginning to have significant effects on Earth ice stores. As ice melts and oceans warm and expand, sea levels will rise. The average rise rate is 3.2 millimeters per year over the 27-year period to 2020, but the rate has increased over that time. And this picture is just the temperature, indicating that the temperature on the world is rising, and the picture up top right is the oceans rising due to the ice melting, which is down there. And then bottom left is the ocean temperature rising. More effects on the planet. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, if Earth warms 1.5 degrees Celsius, Arctic meltwater will push up global sea levels by 0.26 and 0.77 meters by the end of the century. At 2 degrees Celsius of warming, an additional 10 centimeters of sea level rise can be expected, with negative consequences for 10 million people. The long-term threat is even more terrifying. For example, in the article Beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius, the Hell Years, it says the collapse of the Greenland ice sheet, which could be triggered by the warming of 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius, would cause a 7-meter rise in global sea levels. In Australia, 80% of the Great Barrier Reef has been hit by severe bleaching as a result of warming ocean temperatures. Australia is quoted, or Terry Hughes at James Cook University, Australia, is quoted saying, "The reefs at 1.5 degrees Celsius of global average warming will be quite different from the reefs of today." And according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, if warming reaches 2 degrees Celsius, then coral reefs may cease to exist entirely. This picture is a picture of coral reef bleaching, and then this the one on the right is a picture of a healthy coral reef, and the one on the right is bleaching. Bleaching is just like it's not a sign that it's dead. It's not that it's dead. It's just that it's a sign that it's going to die and it's under a lot of stress. And coral reef die-offs is just one of many tipping points that we risk triggering by reaching and going over 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming. These changes cannot be undone even if temperatures come down. Tipping points include coral reef die-offs, widespread thawing of permafrost, and the collapse of the Arctic sheets, including the Greenland one. And the picture is melting permafrost. Permafrost is a underground soil or underground sediment which is kept below 0 degrees Celsius, which is constantly below 0 degrees Celsius, and when it melts, it lets out way too much carbon dioxide into the air. And I couldn't find an exact picture of the Greenland ice sheet, but this is just a graph showing how the mass is decreasing every couple of years. So, to conclude, climate change is affecting the Earth and not in a good way. The more we go over that global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius, or the closer we get to it, is not a good thing, and we are seeing all the effects of climate change firsthand. The dying of coral reefs, the global temperature rise, and the collapse of the Arctic sheets are all affecting the Earth. And to quote the article, Beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius, the Hell Years, people on the front lines of climate change will experience this fate first. But if we fail to act, we will follow. Thanks for listening.